Hello everyone, my name is Juan Pablo Tinjaca from Technology and Foreign Language Teaching. Today I'm going to explain my mental map, taking into account two different resources related to the information and communication technologies in English teaching and learning processes. Okay, to start as introduction, I explain about the importance of technology. The technology is a vital part of today's education in terms of adapting and improving the teaching and learning process of today's generation in different fields vital for cognitive and personal development. That means that the today's generations have more adaptability with the technology, taking into account that we that the kids and the teenagers of today use the cell phones, use the computers to make their homework. So we need to take into account as teachers that the students have more adaptability with the technology than explaining with a speech or with the board or with books or with text. So basically, we can help them to better adapt and improving the teaching and the learning process of them because we are helping them to get motivation if we use technology tools that generates motivation to learn more about the topic or learn more about the subject. So that's the reason why the technology is very important in the current teaching and learning process because that generates motivation, a better adapting, and improving the learning process. It will be better for them, and besides, we have more tools, more possibilities to teach English in different ways. So that's the reason why the technology is very important, and that was specified in both resources that I used to make this mental map. Okay, to continue, we have here the literature review. We have here two different perspectives, taking into account that we use two different resources to make this mental map. The first author talk about the different advantage that we have using the information and communication technology. Uh, basically, those advantages are about to facilitate the adaptation and understanding of the students because we are using different tools, taking into account how the students learn better related to teaching a topic, a different topics. Yes, that's depending on how can we create a relation with students. Yes, and understand what is the best way to teach a different language, taking into account that if they are beginners or if they are, for example, that's depending the level of the students and how can we motivate them to keep learning more about the subject and the different topics that we are trying to teach to them. So basically, that's what is specified about the literature review. And the second author talk about the different opinions of different authors about the definition of the information and communication technology term. So basically, they talk about the influence in the education field. For example, we have one author that is L.M. Lizuna, and that author talks about the obtaining a new quality of information. That means that through the technology, we will have a new quality information to proceed to teach a different language to the student. The second one is J.K. Silevko. Basically, that author talks about to get a scientific basis through the technology to proceed to teach a topic related to a different language and search of results. Basically, using the technology, search of results related to the topic that we are trying to teach. And the last one is G.F. Polushkin talking about the assessment of meta-subject results of education in the foreign language in basic school. Okay, that was about the literature review. The second one is research methodology. Basically, we are talking about the investigation, or well, basically the research about, well, basically we have two different perspectives. The first one is the tools and their classification, and the research carried out using ICT within an educational institution, which specifically helps us better understand the composition and functioning of ICT in the education field. So basically, we have two different perspectives. Well, I just said that before, that we have two different perspectives, taking into account that we use two different resources, but with the same goal of explaining the different fields within the information and communication technology field or term. So, well, the first author talks about the technology tools have two classifications. The first one is the hardware, which includes, for example, computers, printers. Basically, we are talking about the devices. So, well, for example, cameras. So basically, the hardware, the basically the hardware contains the different devices that we can use to access to the information and communication technology tools. And the second one is the software, which includes basically the virtual text, websites, internal research, among others. That means the different tools that we can use to access to the information and communication technology. So yes, the tools that we can use using the devices that I mentioned before. So the computers, for example, to use the computer, that is the hardware, to be able to use the software. So basically the websites, the different tools that we can use to explain a topic using the information and communication technology. And the second one, related to the research methodology, it's the research related to the use of ICT in an institution. Different findings were made. So basically, the research methodology about this, uh, um, about the related to the second resource of the second author, is related to um, a study, or yes, a study related to the information and communication technology tools. The author made a research with just a study with an university, trying to find the relationship with the information and communication technology tools in different aspects within the education field. So basically, the author found that there is no relationship between, well, from that study, the author just found out that there is no relation between the age and the ICT use. For example, there is no difference between the number of subjects and the ICT tools, and basically about the teaching experience, taking into account, well, from the perspective of a teacher. Yes. Basically, from that study, the author found different aspects about the ICT tools, and different things about related to the educational field. So basically, it's a research, it's an study. So the first one about the research methodology, it's about the technological tools related to the hardware, that is the devices, and the second one, the software, that are the tools that we can use through those devices. And the second one is about our research and the relations about the ICT tools with different aspects of the educational field. And the last one is conclusion. It's that both in the investigations It was possible to demonstrate both the constant and the difference when ICTs are used within an educational process to develop an educational process, where there are no significant difference in terms of external characteristics of students, but there are big significant difference in the influence of ICTs on their learning process. Yes, taking into account the research methodology of the second author, talking about the relationship between the ICT tools, the different things about the educational process, there is no meaning difference. Yes, the difference is how the ICTs are so important, how the ICT tools influence in their students and their learning process. Basically, they are generating motivation, better adapting, improving the learning process. We can access to different tools. The teachers can access to different tools to teach different topics. Basically, the technology is so important in the current education process, the nowadays education process, because basically the technology it's a better way, it's the best way to teach a different language for today's generation. So it's so important. Basically, the information and communication technology part of that importance of technology in the current teaching and learning process. Yes? We can use different tools. Um, we can use different devices to teach different topics, to access to different tools, to motivate the students to keep learning. So it's so important to use those technology tools in order in order to achieve the goals that we set before proceed with a teaching and learning process in a different language. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be attentive to all your commentaries, and thank you so much for everything. And have a good day. Bye.